Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm on my way home from a little gathering and started looking a little choppy, so I figured I might catch it on film because there's some really dark clouds and, well, for as dry as it's been, it'd be nice to get some rain, but actually drops are starting as we speak. But also, figured I'd touch up on a few things. With the current beef market, I've figured some of my subscribers who raise beef cattle and stuff like that, this might be helpful to you. The market for it's pretty strong, and it would normally be for summertime. Now is when you're getting your better prices. So if you're contemplating on selling any of them to like a slaughterhouse of some sort, I would recommend doing it probably throughout the month of August, because usually after Memorial Day is about the time, and it might even go in a little past that. It just all depends on supply and demand, but I'm going to go out and say that with the general way the market usually goes, which I've seen it over the last 12 years, so I'm kind of going off what the average, in my opinion, has been, is that usually after Memorial Day, it'll start to teeter to where it's more, they're going to drop what business is willing to pay, because generally, I think I mentioned it in one of my videos before, because generally when you get into the fall time, farmers are wanting to sell cattle to, reduce the herd, and that's less they have to feed, and so on and so forth. So that's just a take on that. Little update on the F-150. I picked up new spark plugs and coil packs for that truck. To kind of give you an overview on that truck, I didn't get to do much on it, which here soon I will kind of do a better overall video, but to give you the basics of it, that truck is an '08 half ton. It has the 4.6 engine and it is four-wheel drive. It has 215,000 miles on it, but she still has a lot of power. But the spark plugs and stuff definitely needed replacing because they are, it's starting to miss, like pretty bad. And when I talked to my stepdad, because that's who I got it off of, it's been about 2 years since they have been replaced. There's a tree over the guardrail there. So I didn't know that, but I went ahead and picked them up. And then the main purpose for me getting that truck was a work truck. Cut back on miles on this truck, which is my normal truck is a 2010 Dodge Ram 1500, and it does have a little bit beefier suspension, so I won't have to borrow my parents, when my dad was alive, it was his. I still call it my dad's truck. But the white Dodge that you normally see me hauling scrap metal with, I won't have to borrow that to haul scrap metal, or possibly firewood because of it having an 8-foot bed, but not necessarily a need. But anyway, for the most part, the truck's in good shape. For what it is, it does have some dings, dents, scratches, and a little bit of rust here and there. But all things considered, it's very well sound. I figure it didn't hurt. I got it at a steal pretty much. Because he has two, they have the white Dodge, and then he also has an early 2000 Chevy 1500 that used to belong to his best friend when he was alive, which I know there's an awful lot of people I know that have passed away, which sucks, but anyway, so he's got that. And so I got a pretty good deal on the F-150, so I figure run it around. And there's a lot of parts trucks around because I don't know if it's a notorious issue with that age of Fords, but it seems like the frames tend to rot pretty bad, like from the cab back, because a buddy of mine's got an 06 rot on the frame where it's get rusted through. But worst case scenario, the motor goes, buy a parts truck, throw another motor in it, good to go for another while. There is another truck that I do own, and that will be a different story. It has sentimental value to me as to why I still have this truck. That will be a video in its own, and I think I'm going to do that one in November, and you guys will kind of get the 411 on that truck, and you'll be able to see it when that time comes. So anywho, I may have located a new starter, well, not new, but new used, I guess you could say, because there's a guy I know parts out tractors all the time, might have a good working starter for the Super H. So the plan is I'll get that to get the tractor up and running and getting it moved so it don't sit there and lock up on me, because yeah, that wouldn't be cool. And then once, probably mostly throughout the winter when things do kind of slow down for me, I'll take it and have the original starter rebuilt and then keep it for when a full-on restoration of the tractor happens, because all the casting numbers on that tractor do match. I did look over everything and checked on that. So I don't know if any of you are into CBs by any chance, or have an interest period, but obviously you guys know I do run one, and with the work truck I will be putting one in there, so I'll most likely do an install video. And the reason I'll do that is because there's a lot of different ways to install them, and I'm going to kind of go through how I'm going to do it in that truck, just to kind of give people out there an idea how to do it. And then I also got to do one in the other truck, but that's like not anything that's probably, I doubt it's going to happen this year, but again, you know, that'll be something that'll do too. And once I start doing some more work on that truck too, I'll kind of carry on a series for that. Really won't need much, but the Massey Ferguson, we are going to be tearing into that. Like I did get the radiator hoses for that, so we're going to get them swapped out, and then we're going to take a look at the one injector that's leaking, see if it just needs tightened up, and then really that tractor will be good to go for the most part, aside from getting the lights working, which that is something on the to-do list. Because of that having the 3-point hitch, I'll use that for snow removal at my house, unless I manage to find a decent deal on a snow plow for the 08 F-150. Then I'll just go over to the farm into the barn for the winter with the rest of them. Going to be working on getting the lights on the 656 working too, because Halloween is my mom's favorite time of year. Absolutely loves it. And so she'll do a nice big party and all that. And we're talking about a hayride, you know, because some of my family members haven't been up in the mountains here, so the route that I'm going to be taking has a lot of nice, you know, if it wasn't just a road going through there, it could serve as a good overlook in 2 or 3 spots. But at dark, they want to do another small one around the farm to kind of scare people with a little bit. So we're going to get the lights working on that. Unless if the Super H is going and no other problems arise, I can utilize that, because the lights do work on that tractor. I do need to get the lights working on the other ones. The Alice Chalmers is still coming. The guy that's working on it, he also farms, and obviously this time of year it's kind of hard to get to it, but they're putting a new hydraulic pump on that, and then that'll be ready to go. It's just a matter when they get the free time, which it's not a big rush for me. I'm not going to complain too much because I understand, and I'm sure a lot of you would too. Let's see, the Oliver, I need to order a new muffler for that here soon, and I want to get the lights working on that as well. There's a couple other odd and end things, but my stepdad wants to get that painted here. I think he was talking in like September, I believe. Personally, I would like to just go through it completely. It doesn't sound like that's the way they're going, but all things considered, a paint job will be good on it, so I won't complain. The Super H, until the hay equipment comes in, which possibly by next summer, I'm not 100% sure. The plan is, I think I may have covered this, but if not, well, you get to hear it again, is I want to take care of all the mechanical things on that, and I'm going to start working on repainting that as well, and put new tires on, and at least 1 or 2 sets of rear wheel weights on it, and then I'll be happy with the way that tractor's set up. And then as time goes on, I'll slowly work on one of the other ones and kind of do the same thing, because really the motors on any of the tractors don't really need to be touched. The 656 will most likely get a rebuild on it, because once in a while you got to clean the spark plugs off. It ain't bad, but I may, when I do the oil change in the fall on it, I might put Seafoam in the motor, because I heard that stuff does really good on them. We'll see what happens with that, but if not, I have no problem investing the money in rebuilding the motor on that tractor, because if those of you remember, that's a tractor that I've always really wanted, like big time. So if I had to spend money putting a rebuild motor in it, hey, that's fine with me. Because other than that, that tractor will need rear tires at some point. Massey Ferguson's tires are in good shape. They ain't going to need any of them. The Super H, obviously I kind of pointed out with them ones. So that's going about it. Hopefully here, if the temperatures get tolerable to where it's not excruciatingly hot, I'm going to start hauling firewood off my buddy's property, which is right next to that big field that I brush hogged in earlier videos. I want to check and see how that's doing as far as grass that's coming up, and if it looks like good hay, then that's awesome. Then I'll let the brush hog it once more. He wants me to do it again sometime in September, and then hopefully if everything goes well, I will be baling next year. If not, if it don't work out, I've contemplated getting a flail chopper, because my buddy's got a beef cows, and instead of letting the grass go to waste, I'd flail chop it and feed it to his beefers until the hay operation does get underway. So we got to play it by ear and see how everything goes. So hopefully here soon I got another scrap run around, because still got catch up to do on that. And then I got to bring the little Coyote loader tractor over to my place to do some cleanup and stuff around my place from home remodeling, which, just a little tidbit, I hate housework as far as remodeling and stuff like that. I hate it, but don't really have much choice. So, but there's stuff to clean up there. Got to get the Oliver with the postal digger over to my place too, because I'm fencing in a good size piece of the property for my two bigger dogs, I should say, to have more space to run and everything. So I also do have the property right next to mine to brush hog as well. He's always wanted it mowed, and he's an older guy, and he don't have much money, and he asked if I'd do it. I'm like, yeah, I don't see why not. So, but that's pretty much it for here. It's pretty much staying quiet, other than we're finally getting rain, because I kid you not, in all the years that I've lived in northeastern Pennsylvania, never once have I seen a lawn with dead grass. Well, I can honestly say that I've seen a couple of them here where they are brown. Like they haven't had rain in God knows how long. So it's nice that we're getting this. And I thought it was going to get worse than what it did, but hey, it's better than nothing. I thought it would have been cool to catch on film if it got pretty rough, because I do like stormy weather. Don't ask me why, I just do. But anywho, that's about all that's going on. I'm kind of hoping to hit the beach one more time before summer's over, because back when we went in, let me think here, June? Yeah, so it had been last month. You had to kind of get used to the water before you could get in the ocean much. It still was cold, even for me, someone who works in the cold every day. But generally, like July, August, yeah, you can run right in, no problem. So I'm wanting to get down there again once more for even just a weekend. So, but got cabin trips coming up too. Got to do a wood cutting trip, so we're in good shape for hunting and any other fall time trips that we'll make, which realistically I could take some of mine if I had to, but we always did a wood cutting trip generally before. I'm trying to think, what was it, the few days before hunting, but this time I'm trying to shoot for October for that. So anywho, I guess that's really about it for farm-wise. One thing I do want to touch on, and with everything going on, it's hard on businesses and even organizations. And I'm going to give you guys a good example. I'm not looking for us to get, sympathy or anything like that, but recently, one of our fire trucks was taken for a pump test. And for those of you that don't know, basically they'll test the pump, make sure it's putting out the proper pressure it's supposed to, leaks, they check everything. Good news, pump came back good. Bad news is the frame on the back of this truck is shot. I mean, it is horrible. Don't take this with a grain of salt, because I can't remember exactly what it was they said, but I think one section of the frame is 2 inches higher than the other. And the reason for this is when they built the new truck hull, now this was before I was a member, it's basically a pole barn with a cement floor. It does have an oil furnace for heat. It's a very well built building, but there's no proper ventilation, so condensation became a major issue. And we got a new fire truck coming on 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago, and the truck it replaced had the same problem. And that was a Ford L9000 is what the old truck was. The one we're having a problem with now is an early 2000s Freightliner, and I kid you not, this truck does not even have 10,000 miles on it, and this frame is shot. 2 of the cross members are gone, and I know what you guys are thinking. How did it get through inspection? Well, that was the exact question I asked at the monthly meeting, and nobody really had an answer towards that. It's like, that should have been taken out of service at inspection, but yeah, so, and right now it's a matter of, the place that sold us the new fire truck will not touch that one to repair. And personally, in my honest opinion, I'm thinking it's going to come to another truck, just swap the body over, whether it be a new or used truck. But either way, it's expensive. And with all these regulations and all that other stuff, we make our money by selling tickets at bingo. and chicken barbecues and stuff like that. But the crowds have died off. So if you guys are able to donate to your local fire department, anything is a saving grace. Because when we bought turnout gear, this is about 3 or 4 years ago. I want to say probably about 4 years ago, because it was not long after me and my ex-wife split. Bought new turnout gear. Now that's helmets, coats, the pants, boots, gloves, hood, everything. It didn't matter how tall or short you were. The average cost was $3,000 to $3,500 per person. And then you figure in all the other equipment they need that needs to be replaced. Donate whatever you can, because it's harder now than it was before, and they could really use it. They're the ones that could be going to rescue someone you know one day, and you would want them to have everything they need to get the job done and get it done safely. So I guess that'll about do it. This is probably flirting with my longest video so far, but I thought I'd give some updates on stuff. I did cut back on my overtime at work, because the only time I stay over is if I work on knife sharpening after shift. But before, I was staying over in the map room, which is meat assortment and packaging, which deals with your burger products. Now, normally, January through the Lent season, they would slow down, and I'd have no overtime out there. So I could rest, leave at normal time, rest, and be good to go when it started back up. That was not the case this past year. Why, I don't know, but that's just how it worked out, and I just got burnt out to the point where I could barely function. So I didn't really want to have to cut back, but I made the decision to cut back to just, like I said, knife sharpening as needed. So, but alright guys, this is the last time, so I hope everybody's staying safe. Hopefully your crops are all doing well. I'm working on catching up on everybody's videos, since I'm getting a little bit of downtime now. And I hope everybody has a good week, and I will catch you on Sunday.